www.lawmanguitars.com. Boy, have I got a really cool guitar for you today. Take a look at this beauty. This one resembles not at all what it was when I got this guitar. This thing was a basket case, and I bought the thing because I felt sorry for it. It was just so abused, and it had no finish on it. It was just a mess. Here's what we found out we had. We've got a 1949 Epiphone FT-79. Now, if you recognize the model FT-79, you're saying, wait a minute, Lawman, that's a Texan. That's correct. After they stopped making these, they started making the Texan. So they used the moniker, the FT-79, to make the Texans, and they stopped making this model. There is some similarities, but not enough to really say this is a Texan. It's not at all. But what you have is just this beautiful jumbo body. It's 16 inches wide, spruce top, mahogany back and sides, and check out that back. Oh my goodness. That was the one thing that I saw when I got this guitar that really drew me to it. There was no finish on it, and it was smooth as silk. I never felt anything so smooth in my life. This mahogany was just absolutely gorgeous. It's arched, so you've got an arched back on this guitar. It has mahogany sides as well. And those were kind of a mess, which is why we ended up doing a Sunburst on this guitar, which we'll talk about a little bit more here in a minute. But we spent just very little money on this guitar because it did not need a neck reset. And it just turned out great. We had the original bridge, and even the bridge pins were original. We thought for sure the neck was going to need to be reset. When we got everything put back together again, it didn't even need to be reset. It may have been reset at one time before we got it because of some of the damage around on the sides and that. My thinking is that they did a very nice neck reset, but they didn't quite know how to blend the sides back in again. So anyway, let's talk a little bit more about the guitar. It's got a 25 1/4 inch scale, a 1 11/16 inch nut, which you finger picker guys are going to love. It's got a really nice round C back. It's not a fat neck at all, which I would expect in the 40s. You would have had a kind of a big fat neck. It does not have that at all. And there's no indication that it was ever shaved or anything. And it's 3-piece with a center stripe. So that's kind of how we identified years for it. There's a few other things too, which we'll get to as we get around. It has single line Kluson tuners on there, which I cleaned up. They cleaned up very nicely. I was really happy about that. And there was a strap button right there, which I hated. So I took it out and filled the hole a little bit. In case you want to put a strap button in, you know exactly where to put it. But I took that off. It should have an old school strap on it. Now, here's what we believe is not original on this. Oh, by the way, I want to point out, I'm really excited about this headstock. It's got the inlaid real pearl Epiphone and the little medallion in here, and even the fret markers are real pearl. So that is a beautiful thing. The nut appears to be original, but look at this. It's got the bell-shaped truss rod cover. It's metal. When I saw that, I go, what is that? It doesn't even look right. And I took it off, and the truss rod kind of comes out a little bit, which is why they have that bell shape over it. I looked these up, and sure enough, you can tell it's a 49 from that truss rod cover right there. Now, here's the thing about this guitar I want to point out. It had, there's a rosette in here, and there was something in this groove. They had it painted red, and my tech says, Mike, it's so thin in there. He says, I was afraid to do anything. He said, I just left that alone. And we talked about doing a natural finish. He says, Mike, there was just too much stuff to cover on the side. So he ended up shooting a Sunburst on it, which turned out just beautiful. I thought he did a beautiful job. Re-glued the original bridge back on and the bridge saddle. And look at that, how much height you still have on that bridge saddle. That's just awesome. And then you've got the bindings on the side. Now these, I'm almost positive, are not original. They're tortoise look. They look newer, not super new. I mean, it's not like these are brand new and we put them on. They were on the guitar when we got it. And I believe that they would have been black or white originally. But anyway, they put these tortoise bindings on there, and it looks really nice. And then my tech blended a tortoise in the back on the back of the neck heel here. So that's not original. Okay, I want to point that out. So what we've got is a mostly original FT-79 from 1949, and it just, gosh, what a beautiful, beautiful sound. When I got it, I went home and sat on my back porch, and my wife got about an hour concert from this guitar. I mean, it plays beautifully. I mean, it plays so well, and the action is great. The frets are in wonderful shape, and the sound of this thing is unlike anything I've ever heard. It just rings. It's full-bodied. It kind of rumbles out of this guitar. The top is very, very thin, which is why I think you're getting so much, and it's X-braced, of course. But what a sound! What a sound of this guitar. I'm not used to this scale. I can tell when I'm playing it. What a cool guitar. This guitar can stay around Lawman Guitar Studio as long as it wants. This is one fabulous guitar. I probably shouldn't even be selling it, but I'm going to offer it up to someone who will appreciate this guitar. Now, we got it in this cool Epiphone case, which is certainly not from 1949. It's the gray case, which would have been a 60s case, so my suspicion is they might have worn out the old case and in the 60s bought this one. It is an Epi case. It's a gray with the black binding on it. Original handle. The case is whooped. I mean, it's not as whooped as that guitar was, but it's been around. I glued a few places to hold it back together again. All the latches are here. All the hinges are here. The interior is in okay shape. It's the blue Epi. Does not have an accessory box. But you know what? It came with the guitar. It has to stay with the guitar. And it's a fine, fine case to walk around and show your buddies your cool guitar. But if you're going to travel, please don't travel with this vintage case. It's not designed to be thrown in and out of the car anymore. So you know what? I love having historic guitars like this. A 1949 FT-79 Texan, I'm going to call it. It has the white label in there, by the way. They made the Epiphone labels from 1935 through 1956 with the white label. Only part of it is in there, so you can see parts of the label. I wish the whole thing was in there, because then I could have really dated it. There's just a few numbers on there, but like I said, we're pretty well convinced it's a 1949. And do your own research. If you can point something out that I didn't see, please tell me. But check it out, 1949 FT-79 Epiphone, beautiful, beautiful acoustic guitar with the original case that came with the guitar. And check all of our really cool guitars out at www.lawmanguitars.com. We only sell really cool guitars. Thanks for watching my videos. I appreciate it.